this is Dr. Janet Bruno, and today I want to talk about an important subject that affects many people in our country, and that is obesity. I want to share some startling news about obesity. Now, most people believe and think that obesity is a completely negative thing in their life, and it's something that they long to eliminate in the soonest possible time. And it's a good thing because obesity puts a large load on the vital organs of the body and makes a person prone to so many diseases, from mechanical ones due to the excessive load placed on the bones and the joints to other more significant diseases such as cancer and heart disease. So if you're listening to this and watching this and thinking that obesity is now considered good, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. That is not what it's about. Obesity is definitely a condition that needs to be addressed as soon as possible, and it will likely remain that way for a long time. But there's some good news and startling information with regard to obesity that I want to share with you. And it's been emerging from some new studies conducted fairly recently. And one of the findings is that obese people actually consume the same or even less calories than people with normal weight. Now, while this is not all-encompassing and affects all people, but the findings are the majority of obese people are not necessarily overeaters like society pictures them to be. And another finding on a similar note is that obese people tend to require less calories to perform the same amount of work as people of normal weight. So let me explain. If it takes a person of normal weight about 500 calories to run 5 miles, an obese person doing the same 5 miles would consume significantly less, maybe 400 or 450 calories. And this is definitely just ballpark figures. I'm trying to intend and illustrate the picture here. But the bottom line is, given the same scope of work, it's been documented that obese people tend to burn less calories. Now, this is confusing for many people, and it's a bit of maybe good news and bad news. It means that people that are obese, they have to actually work much harder to burn the same amount of calories as someone who is of normal weight. So what this realizes is perhaps studies need to be done in the future to focus on this mechanism, because it could have other implications, like how to preserve energy for long distance travel or some other things. But what's important for this though, is to realize that people that are obese will actually need more effort to burn the same number of calories than someone who's normal weight. So what is behind that? So the situation is not that difficult to resolve, since a two-prong approach can actually work wonders and result in a caloric burn that's the same or even more than people of normal weight. And I'm sure you're interested to hear that. The first step involves overhauling their diet in such a way that the majority of their meals will be composed of what I like to call big foods, that big bulky foods that contain very little calories. A good example would be green and yellow vegetables and most of the foods from the starch family. Animal-based food is definitely not part of this recommendation because most animal-based foods are very calorie dense. They are definitely not what I like to call the big foods. Now, the second step involves going on an exercise program that focuses on creating more muscle. For example, workouts in the gym should actually initially focus on high weight and low repetition. Now, this may seem counterintuitive since the low weight, high repetition is what's so common and people say that that's how you slim down. But given the unique situation and particularly the research that's recently come out, the caloric efficiency of obese people, you really want to initially focus on workouts that do muscle building first. And the reason why this is because muscle burns more calories even at rest. And this is exactly what an obese individual needs to really start revving up the metabolic rate. Now, once the muscle mass is in place, then workouts can shift and transition to the lower weight, high repetition regimen that many people know about. So this is kind of just an interesting little twist, but I think for those of you that are struggling with obesity, this may be actually good information to hear because you may be frustrated saying, I really don't eat that much. And this research now shows that's probably very true. So these new findings offer not only a new way of looking at the problems confronting obese people, it also offers a new hope with a different approach of addressing the problem. Where the focus before was always on overeating and how to generalize slim down, the new paradigm focuses on the unique metabolic state and challenge of the obese person. So with proper planning and implementation, this new approach could lead to the answer that obese America has really been waiting for. So I hope you found this interesting. Like I said, it's new information that puts a twist on our obesity problem. This is Dr. Janet Bruno, wishing you a healthy and a happy day.